Hello everyone, here is the Poker Pop-Up Statistics workshop. Today we are going to show you the package Venom Omaha. This package includes a static HUD as well as several dozens of pop-ups. Let's start by looking at the HUD. One of the main advantages of the HUD is the possibility to switch between the stack sizes. That means we have the preflop block here, and we can look at how the opponent plays generally, regardless of stack size. But if we want to look at how they play in specific stack sizes, we can choose between 30, 50 and 100 big blinds. Let's switch to 30, and this is how the player acts when the stacks are 30 big blinds. Actually, 30 is approximate. 30 means between 25 and 40, 50 means between 40 and 75, and 100 means between 75 and 115 big blinds. We also have additional buttons at the bottom, R and C. What do they mean? If we click the R in the general HUD, we are shown the raiser pop-up. Inside we can switch to a specific stack size, let's say 50 big blinds, and we see that this player does not play in 50 big blind stacks, so we choose 100 big blinds instead and look at how he plays at approximately this stack size. Or we can look at the situation when actually his stack is 100 big blinds by clicking on this tab. We can see additional numbers next to every stat. They show us how the player should act in a specific GTO strategy. For example, let's say our opponent has a 100 big blind stack and he open raises from the button. Then against the big blind, he shouldn't fold more than 15%. Against the big blind, 78% he should call, and 7% 4-bet against the big blind. We can also look at all the other statistics over here, and we will notice that all the other stats will change based on which stack we have chosen. There are two ways these stats are calculated, one for low limits and one for middle limits. That was the situation when we looked at the raiser pop-up. Now let's turn to the color pop-up. Here we have the same situation. We try to see how the opponent acts in specific stacks, and next to every stat there is a GTO number that he should ideally have. There can be various situations. We can see how the player cold calls in various positions, how he 3-bets, how he folds to 4-bets, how he squeezes, how he overcalls, by the same token in various stack sizes. When we switch to a specific stack size in the main HUD, we immediately have a relevant pop-up at this link. So the raiser is immediately for 50 big blinds, and then we can switch between the effective stack and the actual stack. And the same for 100. We also have an additional post-flop block. Here the S tab is the single raised pot. 3 means playing in 3-bet pots, and M means multiway pots. There's also a block showing us how the player reacts to steals, whether he folds or 3-bets, how he calls, and his win rate. There is more information about the stats and the pop-ups on the website. If we go to the Static HUD tab, we can look at a detailed explanation of where each of the stats is. We also see the pop-ups for low limit, for middle limit. We also have the pop-ups for low limits and middle limits. They are the same but with different values. And we also have the main pop-ups without GTO values but for all the possible situations. Raiser, caller, playing in multiway pots, donks, 3-bets on the preflop and postflop, squeezing, playing in squeezed pots, in 4-bet pots, playing in double raised pots, limps, isolations, playing versus steal on the big blind, on the small blind versus big blind, stealing from positions, including from the small blind, big blind versus small blind, and a block about how the player will act on various textures. There are 4 types of boards: dry boards, monotone boards, and paired boards. And here, additionally, for every board type, ace-high boards, king to jack-high boards, 10 to 8-high boards, and 7 to 2-high boards. And we have information about how the player c-bets or c-bets folds, or folds to a c-bet, or raises a c-bet. And the columns here are marked raiser and caller. That's it. Thank you for your attention.